Okay, in this video I will show you how to get started with the Insert Constraint tool and show you how to look at the assembly diagram in the project instructions and get going with the assembly. Okay, so this is where we left off in the last video. You have all the parts for subassembly A in your assembly file in Inventor. So let's go back to the instructions, and we left off looking at this parts list and making sure we had everything, the quantities of the part numbers for the base subassembly A. And so now we're going to go down and look at the assembly diagram for this, and I'm going to change my zoom. I'm going to zoom out quite a bit so I can see the entire assembly right in front of me. Maybe make it right there, and then I can move it up a little bit. Okay, so now we can see that we have two of these item number 4, and that's the item number from the parts list, that go into the top of this plate, and then these two bolts go, or nuts go in the back of it to hold them on. And so that's where I'm going to start, just to show you the insert tool. And you need to look at the orientation. There's the fully threaded end is going to go into this hole, and then the partially threaded end is going to still be sticking up. So now let's go back into Inventor, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pull one of these vertical supports over by this hole, and I'm going to show you now the constraint tool. So when you click on constrain, I'm going to move this over here a little bit. This is the one that's insert, which makes it really easy to work with cylindrical shapes. And to use this tool, it's really easy. You're just going to zoom in on your part and find the circle that you want to match up to another circle. So in this case, I want the base of this vertical support to go completely into the circle. So I'm going to click on the circle on the top. And when I like how it looks, I just click apply. And I can look on the other side of this base now and see that I've got a little bit of the threaded part of that vertical support sticking out. And from the assembly instructions, we know that it's this nut that's going to go on the back of that. So I'm going to just show you that you can see what these are called. So this is the part 40 5/16 nut. And I'm going to grab that assembly tool again and click back on insert. And I'm going to grab, you could do this a number of ways. I'm going to grab this inner circle because that's what I want to match up to the back of this vertical support. And I want it to hit at the top of the base, or the bottom of the base plate, at the very far end of this threaded part. And then I'm just going to click apply. And now I'm going to flip this back around and do the same thing with vertical support 2. Here to here, apply, and then flip it around. And sometimes you might have to cancel and bring your part a little closer to where you want to work. And you can zoom in and out to make it easier for you. I'm going to click on insert again and grab the base. I think it would also work to grab one of these outer circles because they should all be on the same level. It's a little hard to tell from this angle, but I'm going to continue to just grab this circle and click apply. And so now we've got the two vertical supports completely installed. Now I'm just going to show you one of these other moves. Going back to the instructions, we're now going to place these 4 rubber feet on the bottom part of the base plate, and they each are going to have a screw going into them, and these screws are going to go all the way into the bottom of the foot, so they're not going to be sticking out, and I'll show you what I mean. And I'm going to show you this just on one of these feet, and then you can finish the rest. So I'm going to actually close this for a second and move all my feet to the other side, and actually move all these screws to the other side as well. And you can grab more than one at a time by using the control key. Maybe not. You can grab them but not move them. Oh, I just made it add another one, so I'm going to delete that. Okay, so now I'm going to flip the base plate around again, and these are the 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, where the feet are going to go. And so I'm going to start with just one over here in the upper corner. And first I'm going to place the foot over the hole, and then the screw goes down into the foot. So grab that constraint tool again and the insert button, and then I'm going to, actually before I get started, I'm going to cancel that and right click on the foot and free rotate it, and grab the screw first, which is fine. I'm going to rotate it like that, and you can either click escape or click off of the part. And now I'm going to try that with the foot. So free rotate and move it up a little bit. And now I'm going to grab that constraint tool again and insert. And I'm going to place this circle around this hole. And then click apply. And so now the foot is placed, and I'm going to rotate the whole base a little bit so I can see the inside of the foot, because this is where I want the screw to land. And so I'm going to again grab, it could be the inside part or it could be the outside part. I'm actually going to have the inside part try to match up to the bottom of this foot. And if you need to zoom way in, you can, but I want it to land on the kind of top of this rubber part. And then click apply. And now if you zoom out, you can see that the foot is, let me zoom in a little bit better. The foot is attached to the bottom, and the screw is going all the way inside of the foot until it kind of bottoms out, and that holds the foot on. You don't want the metal to be sticking out of the foot. The foot is what makes contact with the table to help it stand upright without interfering with anything else on the bottom. So now I'm going to click home, and you'll be able to see that the screw doesn't come out the other side. It's not supposed to. And so that's how you install a foot. So you're going to continue to work through the assembly instructions for each subassembly. So once you're finished installing the rest of these feet and screws on subassembly A, base subassembly A, you will, and I would recommend saving frequently, so I'm going to save now that I've done all this work and say OK. And then when you finish with this, you're going to save subassembly A and one last time, and then you're going to create a new assembly, File, New, and you'll create a new assembly for subassembly B. If I go back up to the top of these instructions, the next one you could create would be lower die subassembly B. So you're going to do the same thing, find all of your parts, add them to the assembly, check your quantity, see which ones you need multiples of, and then go down to lower die subassembly B drawing, which is this one, and just start working from the bottom or top of the plate outward. So I would first add this bolt for number 2, and then I would add part 3 on top of it, and so on. I would add the washer first, and then the screw. I would add this part 12 first, and then part 6, and then part 7. And so you're just going to continue adding parts until you finish a subassembly. Keep saving along the way, and then when you finish that one, move on to the next subassembly. And if you get stuck with any subassembly, just save it and move on to a different one so that you can continue to make progress. And that is how you're going to complete your button maker project and make it into this workable finished product.